Hello, and welcome to the third episode of SheEIC, Empowering, Innovating, and Changing the Business World podcast. I'm your host, Sara Jud from the European Innovation Council. In this podcast, we are addressing topics relevant to women entrepreneurs by bringing to the forefront successful EIC Women Leadership Programme participants and EIC awardees. These women's inspiring stories pave the way for other women to take center stage as leaders and innovators. An ally in challenging but rewarding path is the EIC Business Acceleration Services, helping innovators scale their businesses not only via financial support, but also through a range of services tailored to their specific needs. And as one of the EIC Business Acceleration Services, the EIC Women Leadership Programme is the ultimate support destination for women in tech who want to take their careers to the next level. The program helps women to boost their leadership and reach their full potential via coaching and networking opportunities. In today's episode, we will explore the topic of tech transfer, from idea to success. This topic is very relevant for many brilliant researchers who are aspiring to take their research into real life. The term refers to taking scientific findings and innovations to market so that they can become real-world solutions in the form of products or services. And joining us on this journey today is our first guest, Catarina Custódio, co-founder and CEO of Metatissue. Hello.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, it's a great pleasure to have you on the podcast. Metatissue is one of the Women TechEU grant awardees. It's a medtech company that designs and manufactures human protein-based products that find application in cell culture, tissue engineering and regeneration, and disease modeling. Catarina, this description is clearly taken from the website of your company, but can you tell us what do you do at Metatissue in a way that everyone understands and why your work is important?
As you said, we are using human proteins. So we are creating biomaterials using human proteins from tissues that we can easily obtain from humans, like blood and placenta, that are biological waste. So basically, we take those biological wastes to improve or to make added value from them and create materials for tissue engineering, disease modeling that can be eventually used in by pharma companies. So our work aims to streamlining this drug process, reducing time and costs, and promoting more sustainable and ethical practices. Our main objective is to decrease the number of animals that are being used and create more accurate and reliable platforms.
Thank you for further clarifications. Indeed, I guess language adjustment is one of the first requirements once the researchers decide to step out of the research into the business world. And with your company, you're doing a great job in contributing to more ethical and rapid drug testing and have a great potential to disrupt the pharmaceutical industry. And now moving to our second guest here with us today is also Orily Pratt. Orily is a business expert and also EIC Business Coach who has been coaching also some of the EIC Women Leadership Programme participants. Hello, Orily.
Great to be here.
Thank you for joining. We are talking today of tech transfer, and one of the most important assets in transfer is probably tech. How do you know which tech is suitable for transfer?
Well, it's an excellent question, and there is one main answer that I think every stakeholder in the market would agree with me. The big question is, first of all, who needs the technology? What is the market need that makes this technology viable for commercialization? And a lot of the time, startups fail to ask this question when they transfer from the lab to the market. But that is the first question that you need to answer. And then the second question that follows immediately is, how unique is this technology? What are the alternatives in the market? And what is really what we call the unfair advantage of that technology in the market, something that no one else has, that answers the need and in a unique and innovative way.
So the unique value proposition.
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely.
So here we are also talking of the disruptive potential of the breakthrough technologies, something what Catarina's Metatissue certainly has. And this is also one of the key objectives that we are looking in the companies that we fund under the EIC grant schemes. But what we often see is that many brilliant ideas, technologies only stay in research labs and in research papers, and there are no ambitious researchers who would be ready to bring them to market. So I'm turning back to Catarina with a question that really makes me curious. Why have you decided to step out from the academia? So what has driven you to set up your own business based on your research?
Yeah. I'm now business oriented, and we established this Metatissue, but I'm still working in academia. Actually, I'm still a researcher at university, but this starting the company was never part of the original plan. Okay, so I was really happy working in the lab and doing just academic research. But my research was always very applied. I was really looking into something that could make the difference, that I see application in a short time. And then in 2017, we started to work on this specific project involving human proteins, those proteins from blood. They were already in the market, but in other format, not as biomaterials. So we started to look at them and think potential as eventually material that could be used not only by us, by other researchers. So we believed it could be a product that could go into the market. We started by filing a patent, so we protect our IP regarding this main objective. We started to apply for grants, projects, awards, and in the end, we received an award that encouraged us to establish a company, to launch the company. So we started by then.
We definitely need more bold researchers with a powerful vision like yours to bring their research to market and be driven by impact. So, but this drive that you have mentioned to make a difference. But maybe coming back to your early years of your startup. So, how was it stepping into a role of an entrepreneur? What were your first impressions, your first experiences, and maybe also your first wins?
It's totally different working more in a business-related side when we compare it to academic research. In academia, of course, we are only focusing in the lab, eventually a publication, in many cases publications, scientific publications, not really in the application, final application, or seeing if this has some commercial potential. When you move to business, when you become an entrepreneur and you want to make some valuable product, you have to look at that. We need to look at that. And this is a challenge because, we need to change our mindsets totally.
Definitely. We see also among our applicants who range from researchers to entrepreneurs that the business world plays according to a completely different set of rules compared to the research universe. So coming to Orily, you're working with many researchers who are at the stage of tech transfer. What are the unknown factors that newborn entrepreneurs must take into consideration when they're setting up their own business?
Well, the key word here is already in the question is the unknown. I think one of the things that a lot of entrepreneurs that start their way have to live with uncertainty. And that is very difficult for someone coming from the academia, from academic research. Yeah, there are so many factors that you just don't know. Either you don't know because you've never done them before, or you don't know because this is how business works. There are factors outside there that you can't anticipate, and you have to be really flexible and open to kind of go with the flow when you need to. So that's one thing. The other thing that I can say is something that Catarina also mentioned. She started by saying, I never meant to be an entrepreneur. That was not part of the plan. And a lot of people in that situation that move from the technology in the lab to the business world really never thought of business. And this is not the way they think in general. And there are a lot of aspects to building a business that they've never done. Fundraising and recruiting people and managing people and all the logistics behind the product and regulation and IP and, things that you don't think about when you're in the lab in the university.
And probably you have to do everything yourselves at the beginning because you don't have a team, no?
Exactly. You have only your own thing to rely on, only your own expertise. So that is another thing, this unknown. And another thing that also Catarina mentioned is protecting the innovation. There's something very comfortable when you're in a lab in the academia that is protective of what you do in the lab. But when you step into the business world, you discover that you need to protect it with IP, with all kinds of registrations, so people don't copy it or you don't step on anyone's toes when you do that. And that's very important early on as well.
Yeah. And here the work could get also really bureaucratic. But we have good news in EIC because we don't let our researchers and entrepreneurs be alone in this uncertainty, but we also support them with a number of acceleration support services, one specific for tech transfer being tech to market program. And we have already mentioned today the EIC Women Leadership Programme for researchers eager to step into the market, as well for aspiring leaders and also established leaders. And Catarina, you have been part of one of the first EIC Women Leadership Programme cohorts. How has it helped you firmly position yourself as a leader of your newly set up startup?
Yeah, being part of this program, I was part of the first cohort. It was really a game changer. It was really in the right time. As I said before, we launched the company. We were initially facing some challenges due to the lack of funding. We are not yet able to establish our own lab, to create our team, but it was more or less in the same time. We got the first funds to establish the company, and then I also got this opportunity to be part of this program. So I had the opportunity to learn areas like negotiation, decision making, leading a team, something that, as a researcher and working in academia, I was not able, at least, to learn or to gain skills on that field. So this program gave me tools, very important tools to go into the business side, to learn more how to go. It is tech to market transfer also. I also had the opportunity to have those mentor sessions. So it's like one-on-one session where I have the opportunity to learn directly from someone, from a coach that is working in the field or knows how to go to the market, knows how to deal with the business, knows how to lead a team. It has high experience on that, and this is very important. And then, of course, by the time we met several researchers, normally researchers that are just going through the same than has. So we create some kind of network. We learn from each other. This is also very important.
Yeah, exactly. The community building, but the word that you used before.
Yes. This is this community. Since then I am part of the community. We keep in touch. This is very important.
Exactly, but I like the word that you used, that it was a game-changing experience, an eye-opening experience for you. And
it was.
I hope that this has inspired some of the listeners today who would potentially like to follow your path by participating in the program as well. And I have good news. If they hurry up and apply no later than by 11th of May, then they can still secure a spot in the 9th cohort of the program that will kick off in September this year. So please do check the program website for more information. The program provides participants with expert support, also with coaching, at the different stages. So we have discussed today the importance of this guidance at the early stage with setting up a business. But I would like to check it with Orily. How do you see the evolving role of coaching in helping businesses grow? So from the beginning of the business towards its growth and sustainability.
Well, I think that coaches can have a double role here. On the one hand, of course, they can fill in the empty spaces, meaning that any expertise that the entrepreneur doesn't have, a coach can bring in or connect with or bring that entrepreneur into a network that would give company what it's missing. But on the other hand, I think that a good coach is also taking care of the softer side of a growing company, of an entrepreneur. And it's a lot about the individual connection with the mentee, with the entrepreneur, helping them with the difficult parts, supporting them mentally. It's not an easy process. It's a very exciting one, but it has a lot of ups and downs, and good coach can help with that and can be there as a sounding board, as someone to consult with on the personal level. And I think it is relevant along the way. It's not just at the beginning, which of course there's a lot of difficulties, but along the way, it's a kind of a reality check for the entrepreneurs. It's a way to keep the business in mind all the time and not to divert into the comfortable zones, but rather to keep forward and keep moving forward and towards the potential of the company. And it's also about keeping the vision alive. I think a lot of the times, especially when the company grows, there's a tendency to dive into the details and get dragged after the very busy days and think about the day-to-day, etc. But there's all the time, there's a need to keep the vision and keep the long-term and the big picture view. And a coach can do that with the company and keep that in mind all the time.
You were mentioning long-term vision, so it's indeed important to stay on the track and aligned with this long-term vision, because the work only starts once the business is set up. So here, Catarina, how are you coping now that you have your business in the market? How are you navigating the market and raising funds?
Yeah, we have now a product in the market, our first product. The product is there, it's available now, but now it's important. This is the challenge, is to gain market, because we are there, we are available, but we know that we have key players there. They are very well known. And even if they have some issues, and if eventually people are willing to change, they will change when they have strong proofs that this new thing will really change. They can add some value. So we are now really working on that, going into the market, meet as many possible end users as possible. Also working with distributors. This is also very important if you want to establish very well in the market. We have now distributors in Europe, United States, and Japan, and this is important. So they are there, they know better than us the end users that they have in the area. So this is also very important for us. The question of fundraising, it's also very important. We started looking for that really on the last year, 2024. We are now really looking into that. This is another challenge. I would say that those are the big challenges that we are facing now, because we know how to do our research, we know how to do our product. We have a product that we believe that it's eventually perfect, but it's not. And we know that when we started to contact our first end users, so they give us some feedback, and normally, okay, we're able to adapt, we're able to do specific changes that could match those needs. But then we need to expand our market area. We need funds to grow, to move from this pilot scale to a more industrial scale. And now this is looking for funds.
And one important aspect that has come up already during our discussion is, of course, to stay open-minded and to stay open to change. And this is a constant homework that you have to do. Orily, we are coming to an end. Would you have some final reflections on what Catarina has just said?
Yes, it's interesting because I think the word flexibility, staying open-minded and flexible, what you said, Sara, is a really important thing. And I think one of the difficulties of entrepreneurs is when the company grows is to find their place in the company. Some of them are talented in both hats of a researcher and an entrepreneur and a leader, and they can stay with the company as it grows. Some of them don't. And some of them think they do, but they don't. And some of them think they don't, but they do. So the big question is always, how do they find their place in the company once it grows? And it also has to do with asking the questions all the time, what is good for the business? What is really supporting the business moving forward? Am I the right person to raise funds? Do we need to have someone else supporting that? How will it affect the company culture? Keeping an open mind and a flexible attitude is a key word here as you move forward with your company.
Exactly. Catarina, Metatissue is your first baby. You have built it from scratch to a team that is working on it. What are your plans, considering this discussion that we have of being open-minded? You still keep two hats, being in the academia, you are leading your own business. Where will we see you in 5 years when we invite you to our podcast again?
Yeah, as Orily was saying, being flexible and open-minded, it's the thing. We need to do that. As you were saying, it's my first baby. And in 5 years, I would say that I see me in the business side. Okay? I'm more oriented to business, not focused on academia. I would see me involved in Metatissue. I don't know how. We don't know what will happen to the company in 5 years. We have plans, but we never know if the plans go as we were expecting. But I have to believe, and we believe that Metatissue will grow. It could be as a company, or maybe we can go and be acquired or change our name. We never know, but I really believe in our product, in the idea. So I see me associated with this idea and with this business in Metatissue.
Thank you. We believe in you too. Despite we know that there are many challenges in the early stages of business, and also very tough decisions to be made. But this whole journey is definitely rewarding and worth. So with this final words, I would like to thank you, both of my guests today, Catarina and Orily, for sharing your insights and experience. Your input will for sure be invaluable to other women innovators, whether they are just starting out their own business or whether they're already well established in their leadership positions. And to our listeners, thank you for tuning in, and we look forward to welcoming you back for the next episode of SheEIC, Empowering, Innovating, and Changing the Business World next month.